because there is like so much choice out there.
Yes.
You can then start to feel a little bit overwhelmed, like anything. It's like if you go into a shop and there's too many clothes, you're like, which one do I pick? Like, what do I pick? You know, so
Yeah.
it is a bit like that. And I felt that way before as well. That kind of, but however, I will say that when I have done this research into attachment styles, which I'm sure we'll touch upon.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, when you do know yourself better, you can understand why you're maybe pushing people away. Because I've been in positions where I've done that. It's that kind of the grass is greener syndrome, where you're you're with someone that could be amazing, but then you're like, but is there someone better out there, or is that little thing that they do
You've got
that
50
annoys
more
me?
matches on your Tinder profile.
Yeah.
So if I didn't love this date, I can go on those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you do know yourself better and you know that actually maybe that could be coming from a place of, you know, unhealed trauma, like, you know, and being in this like fearful attachment where you want to just push people away when you get too vulnerable, then when you start to heal that in yourself, things like that grass is always greener thing goes out the window, and you can be secure in a...
So talk to us about your journey from maybe having this kind of mentality of, okay, there's always something better, to then maybe, I don't know, is it maybe giving yourself more a chance to connect with someone, or you know, talk to us about that?
Yeah, I mean, like we were just saying before as well, like I've kind of hit this point where personally I'm really looking for a deep connection. You know, I've been through, I think as well, I'm not to generalize like anybody or any age or anything like that, but you do kind of go through a certain age where you want to explore, you want to just explore like you know, if you are not in a relationship, if you're dating,
of course.
and like, you know, go and have a good time, you know, even if you're just seeing people for one night, like, and I kind of have had that stage in my life. I came out of this is a bit of context, like for people watching, like I came out of a very long relationship 3 years ago now, but I was with this guy for 5 years, and we were on and off a little bit. It was never meant to work, right? But I was with someone for so long, so then after that I had this whole stage where I was like, whoa, like, and maybe a bit later than most people as well, you know, later on in my 20s, where I was like, whoa, like I just want to go out and have fun, and you know, and be that woman that does, you know, maybe go sleep around and you know, do that, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But then you come out of that phase and you go, okay, well, what is it I really want? And after doing so much work on myself and my inner world, I know what I want, and I'm ready for a proper connection with someone. So that's where you start to go, okay, rather than who's out there, like where is everyone, like there's so many options, it's kind of like, no, I'm going to invest in this person and see what happens.
So how do you do that and I completely get what you're saying, how do you do that because there are quite a few people, you know, who they've built a habit of being with someone in a very casual way for a short amount of time, and then choosing the next best thing and the next best thing, and then so how do you break that habit if you're so used to doing it? Or how did you break that habit? I don't know.
Healing and discipline, and like, you know, because when I say the word discipline, I actually mean it, because like if you do have a habit or a pattern that you're in where you're jumping ship all the time, or you're just never satisfied, you have to be disciplined with it if you want change.
So what does that look like, being disciplined with it? Let's say you've jumped ship because you're not satisfied every time.
Because you're not satisfied every time,
with the person you're with the guy you're with.
Well, it's allowing yourself to receive. It's allowing yourself to be in that feminine and receive. So if they want to take you out on a date and more dates and do that, like, just allow it and just see what happens. For me, the reason why I've been in a position where I do push boys, or I have in the past pushed boys away, because as I was saying before about these attachment styles, I've got a fearful avoidant attachment style. And so that just basically means that, like, I am that okay, I just want to rewind a little bit, because I think that there's for people watching, so they kind of understand. Should I explain the attachment styles?
Let's start with the attachment styles, and then we'll talk about how people operate in them.